Chapter 2 of the Book of Cowboys. The next morning, when Barbara Ann looked out the window, the mountains were everywhere. After breakfast, the porter piled all of their baggage by the door of their car, and Uncle Harry stood up and reached for his hat. "All out for the Circle Cross Ranch," he called. When the train stopped, Peter jumped down and ran to the baggage car for Biff. There never was a gladder dog than that little black terrier was when he found himself with the family again instead of in a baggage car with only an occasional visit from one or another. 3 cowboys were busy loading the bags and trunks onto a motor truck. The children had never seen real cowboys close at hand before, except Uncle Harry. But Uncle Harry had put on Eastern clothes to go to New York, so he was dressed just as Father was, except for his big hat. These looked like real cowboys with blue and gray shirts, scarlet and purple bandanas knotted about their necks, and their faded blue overalls tucked into high-heeled boots. Uncle Harry introduced a short, bow-legged one as let me make a note here. If you tuck your pants into your boots, then all of the stickers and everything are going to fall down in there with them, and they'll get down into the boots. What you do is you pull your pants over the outside of your boots. So the pants are what shows, and the boots are up inside the pants. And then you may have all these fancy curlicues on your boots, but they're hidden. So there's that. But now the stickers, to get in, they would have to go up your pant leg and then down inside the boot. And they very rarely do they ever do that. You know, stickers, and mostly what I get is wood chips, because I do a little bit of lumberjacking now and then. Okay, back to the story. Uncle Harry introduced a short, bow-legged one as Alkali Jones, a tall, slender one as Slim Sam, and a medium-sized one as Texas Charlie. They were very solemn as they shook hands all around. Then they went back to loading trunks. "But they haven't those big leather things on their legs like the cowboys in the movies," whispered Barbara to her brother. "No," replied Peter, "and they don't wear spurs either, I thought." "What did you think?" asked a voice close behind. Both children turned around. The man who had spoken looked older than Uncle Harry or Father, because his eyes squinted and his tanned face was all deep lines and wrinkles. He was in overalls that fitted his legs tightly, and standing as straight as he could, his legs were so bowed that you could have thrown a baseball between his knees. Barbara and Peter were so interested in looking at this stranger that they forgot to reply, but he didn't seem to expect an answer, for he went right on speaking. "My name's Jim," he said. "I'm an old-timer hereabouts, and I've been ranch foreman for your uncle for more years than you've been in the world. I've got a stake in the ranch myself. That is, I'm his partner as well as his foreman. You just stick around me if you want to know anything about cowboys, and I'll answer all your questions. For instance, spurs and chaps. The big leather things Barbara here was talking about. Did you ever try to drive a car over a mountain with chaps or spurs on?" "No, sir, I never did," replied Peter. "Well, if you had," said Jim, "you'd know that the spurs get caught in the floorboards when you work the pedals, and the chaps get tangled with the levers. Those things go with horses, but not with automobiles. But you'll see chaps and spurs aplenty, partner, when you get to Circle Cross Ranch." And we got another picture here. Okay. "And now you folks come with me," he said, turning to Mother and Father. I'm driving you all in the big car. Biff sat behind in Uncle Harry's arms. Peter and Barbara Ann sat in front with Jim. Doesn't say where Mom and Dad are. And I might make a note, in those days they did not wear seatbelts. Nobody'd heard of seatbelts. Nobody ever thought of that. Race car drivers, yeah. Jet fighter pilots, yeah. But passengers and drivers of cars, just sit in the seat and do your thing. Okay. So, I assume Mom and Dad are in the back with Uncle Harry and Biff. Scared to go fast? Jim asked, turning toward the children. No, sir, said Peter, Barbara Ann in one breath. Don't need to say sir to me, laughed Jim. You just say any plain yes or plain no. I don't care for fancy fixings and words. Yes, sir. I mean, sure, said Peter with a grin. That's better. Now, as I was saying, it's a good thing you ain't scared to go fast. If you want to get to Circle Crow in time, if you want to get to Circle Cross in time for supper. And that was chapter 2. Mighty short.